Ang Ginoo manaa kaninyo. Pagbasa gikan sa santos nga ebanghelyo sumala ni Marcos. May pipila ka tawo nga nagdala og mga bata ngadto kang Hesus aron sila hikapon niya. Apan gikasab-an sila sa mga tinun-an. Sa pagkaalinggat ni Hesus niini, nasuko siya ug niingon sa iyang mga tinun-an, "Paaria kadako ang mga bata. Ayaw sila did-i kay ang gingharian sa Dios ila sama niining mga bata. Timan-i ninyo kini, ang dili mudawat sa paghari sa Dios sama sa usa ka bata, dili mahisakop niini." Unya iyang gipangugos ang mga bata, gitapion ang iyang mga kamot kanila, o gipanalanginan sila. Ang Ebanghelyo sa Ginoo. Magpabiling manindog.
Ang atong tinahod, Bishop Antonio Ranyola, Monsignor JAN.17, Padre Andy Rivera, Superior sa mga Agustino, Padre John O'Hara, Rector sa Basilica. Hinigog man atong mga kaparihan kung celebrante sa atong misa, labi na kaparihang Agustino. Mga kamadrihan, atong igala Edmund and Liu, hermano Germana, o mga hermanas, labi na sa nobinaryo, o tanan nga dinikaron pipila lamang sa atong basilika, but especially many of you who follow us in today's Mass over live stream, Santo Niño, Basilica, Facebook, CCTN, o lain pa mga TV stations, Radio DYRF, o lain-laing broadcast. Kanyang tanan nga naghatag panahon paghimaya sa Dios, pagpasidungog kang Senor Santo Niño. In the name of the Archdiocese of Cebu, in the name of the Augustinian Friars of Tanan, din sa Archdiocese of Cebu, gusto na ko ipadangatin niyo ang akong pagbati. Pit Senor, Happy Fiesta ni Senor Santo Niño. Pit Senor. Mga inigugma, allow me to preach sagol-sagol, no? Bisaya o in English, for the sake of the many who follow us, who are with us, both from Cebu and the Philippines, and I'm sure in many parts of the world. 500 years ago, this original image of Senor Santo Niño came to our shores. 500 years ago, exactly on April 14, during the first baptism, this image became a gift to Queen Juana during her baptism and that of King Humabon and their followers. And even when the Spaniards left, Senor Santo Niño stayed with us. And when the Augustinian missionaries came 44 years later, 1565, they found the image of Senor Santo Niño. In our language, that's what we call kaplag. And that's why this year we celebrate 456 years of kaplag and 500 years of the arrival of Senor Santo Niño. 1521-2021. This, despite how it appears, is a year of blessing. Pit Senor. Mga hinigugma, I'm sure many have asked, nga naman yun, we waited for this 500-year celebration, and yet, when we would have wanted, among others, to join the fluvial procession, we could not. When we would have prepared for the procession, foot procession, we could not. When we would have anticipated the joyful synologue where millions of people come, there is none. And we also feel the very limited participation in the activities. I'm sure thousands, millions of people would have wanted to participate. The Novena Masses, the Masses here at the Pilgrim Center. And yet, because of this culprit, COVID-19, we have to have this restrained, controlled IATF mode of celebration. Question, o sa mga gusto ni Lord na pagpasidungog, how do we give homage to God and to Senor Santo Niño for 500 years of blessings? My dear friends, what kind of celebration? How do we celebrate? I talked with some people, devotees of the Santo Niño, who said, yes, it is true. We may have limited access, and that we understand. If there are only few people here, that we understand. But the devotee of the Santo Niño, as they would explain, celebrates in this way. In our mind and in our heart, we adore the Santo Niño there in his house, in the Basilica del Senor Santo Niño. But the Santo Niño that we adore is, yes, he is in the Basilica. But Monsignor, yes, he is also on our altars. And yes, he is also in our hearts. Daghang salamat, dear brothers and sisters, if you resonate with them, that because we are devotees of the Santo Niño, we look at this Santo Niño and thank God for this gift. But we know that because we are devotee, we also have enthroned him on our altars. And we also enthroned the Niño in our hearts. Amen. And when we do that, then even if we have limited access to our beloved Pilgrim Center or Basilica, people can see that today we are happy and we should be happy. Amen. I have to tell you, all of us in the Basilica are wearing face masks. But I can see that they are smiling. Yes, we are happy. Because we understand it is for the first time that there are images of the Niño in Bulhoon, in Ronda, in Balamban, in Danao, in Bantayan Island, so that those who may not come to here in the Basilica, can come and visit the images of the Santo Niño from this Basilica and adore that image that has become the most popular image in our country. Amen. Pete Senor. But the best expression of devotion is to believe that because we have been devotees for many years, then the Niño is in our hearts. And when we think of that, then we think of thanking God for this gift of His Son, who came to dwell in our midst, but who also likes to dwell in our hearts. And when we thank the Lord, then we know that indeed we are gifted. I am sure today, even you who may not come, when we think of the Niño as a blessing, can think of how this Niño has been a blessing both spiritually and I'm sure even materially for many of us. We only think for a moment of what happened perhaps in our own families, in our own communities. Even as I look back at my own family or yours, you may recall years ago we are a simple family, but because of the devotion to the Niño, we have become closer as brothers and sisters. We have become more prayerful. We have become more zealous, industrious, hardworking. And even our own little business, through Niño's gift, it has grown. We thank the Niño. We thank God for making us an instrument to be able to help other people. Other families might say we are a simple family, but because of our devotion to the Niño, going to Mass together, praying the Rosary together, eating what is set at table, then we have become, through God's grace, all professionals with our own families, building what we would call domestic churches, reaching out to others. These wonderful blessings that only a devotee can recall with sincerity and with real gratitude. Amen. Despite COVID, despite the fact that the usual fluvial procession, food procession, sinulog could not happen, when we look into our hearts and see the Niño, and when we look at him and know that he is part of who or what we are now, then today is a moment of thanksgiving. Amen. Mga hinigog ba? I am sure many would still say, Senor, when I do that, I may not find a reason yet to thank. Because to me, I would have wanted to be there, if only to ask for a blessing, something important, something serious. Yes, do so. Because the ninyo who has been patubalani sa gugma, the ninyo who has been dangpanan sa atong mga problema, is here, is waiting for us in prayer. Because just like any child whose main trait should be trust in the Father, going to the Ninyo with our concerns is an assurance that He would lead us to the Father. And certainly, there is only the guarantee of the Father's continuing presence and support for us. The Father's Son is a guarantee that we who have become sons and daughters to the Father are assured of God's continuing presence and support. Perhaps you might say, because of COVID, lisod na gid niyo, no? Our business is crumbling. Our plans are far from being realized. Sickness has affected our family. Whatever, come to the Ninyo. And when we come, then the Ninyo will bring us to the Father, because today's feast is the assurance of the Father's continuing presence in our journey through faith. Many times we only have fear, but today the Ninyo tells us, have faith rather than fear. Put your trust in this little child, small but powerful, bato balani sa gugma. Amen. Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, the image of the Ninyo, the little child, is a reminder that in our society, there are many who may be called little. True, they are either little children or people with little dignity, you might say. Persons in the periphery, those slum dwellers and the poor and the sick, those who are marginalized. I pray, true to the theme of 500 YOC, that we, in the spirit of reaching out, whether it be people in other places, other nations, adjuncts, or people in the periphery, ad extra, I pray that we too may be moved to realize that even the Ninyo needed the care of Mary and Joseph. And so we have to care for each other, care for the poor, the sick, the little ones, the marginalized. In our diocese, as a fruit of IAC, we have Aptanan sa Kadoy, that Center for Street Children, will continue normal operation after COVID. I'm sure other parishes are doing something beautiful. Mambaling before with Father Mar started Agak, akong kukma alang sa kabataan, a way of helping the little ones, the Badyaw children, the little children. I know the mothers of Mother Teresa, the ones in Pasir, are doing great for children. But whatever, we may not belong to any such institutions. But I know that many are doing something. I repeat, for the little ones, whether it be food to those who are hungry, inspiration, hope through education, and many ways so that those who feel abandoned would now realize we who are lovers of the NINO love not only the NINO here, but the NINOs down who too need a brother, a sister, a mother, a father. Mga hinigugma. Thank you for honoring the NINO with the celebration of this Mass. It's not often during the fiesta that we have a Mass in the Basilica because we usually have a big crowd, huge crowd. Now that is not possible. But today we appreciate the ambience in the presence of the original image in the context of pandemic. But the realization that yes, pandemic may be around, but it does not paralyze us because one who is touched by the love of the little child knows that when we realize our gifts and when we believe that our gifts are meant to be shared, then we know there is real meaning in every song that we sing, Batubalani sa Gugma. Then there is meaning in every exclamation, Pit Senor. Then there is meaning in proclaiming that indeed He is our patron and patron of the Philippines, the third Sunday of January. From our Basilica, once more, to all of you who participate in today's Mass, in joy and in real gratitude, we say, Pit Senor, Viva Senor Santo Niño. Pit Senor, Viva Senor Santo Niño. Amen.
Atong ipahayag ang atong pagtuo. Nagatuo kami sa usa ka Dios ang amahan nga makagagahom sa tanan.
Mabubuhat sa langit ug sa yuta, ug sa tanang mga makita o dili makita. Nagtuo kami sa Ginoo, si Jesu Kristo, ang anak sa Dios, gianak sa